Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital fans, we have got Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, struggling with heart problems and putting off the surgery he needs, but his time may be running out. The Port Charles mob boss may be in emergency surgery soon. We're going to talk about why Sonny may be the first patient to get life-saving treatment at the Monica Quartermain, Leslie Charlison, Cardiac Center at General Hospital. Alright, so we all know Sonny's been struggling with heart problems for a little while now, several months. He's had a few episodes with chest pains, but then he had that really bad spell at Volanino's gym. And that's when he finally got some medical advice. Dr. Isaiah Gannon, Sawandi Wilson, checked Sonny out, gave him a prescription to help his cardiac episodes whenever they happen. Then, between Dr. Gannon and Natalia, they finally convinced Sonny to see a heart specialist. Brick, Stephen A. Smith, got Sonny in with that cardiac person in lay, so his mob rivals wouldn't know something was going on with his health, because if Sonny appears weak, he'd be targeted. Everybody would be at risk. So he needed to keep it under the radar. But he and Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and Brick can only do that for so long. Sonny's heart problems are from when he was shot in the chest years ago. The specialist said Sonny needs surgery within the next 3 months. That time is just about up, but with Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell, being burned in the penthouse explosion, that has been Sonny's main focus. He told Jason he can't get the surgery till he finds out who planted the bomb in his penthouse, and who's to blame for Michael's horrific injuries. He wants punishment on that person before he will get his treatment. Sonny also knows he needs to eliminate the threat so that his family is safe. And then he feels like, okay, now I can go get the surgery. In the meantime, he's supposed to be avoiding stress, which is easier said than done for all of us, right? Bickering with Ava Jerome, Maura West, has triggered 2 spells already. The most recent one was because Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mansi, got him all worked up and then was pressuring him to confront Ava and screw her over with regard to her finances. When Sonny collapsed in front of Ava, she realized his health condition is dire. That had her seeing an opportunity with custody, just as Sonny saw Ava's financial issues as an opportunity. So they're both kind of doing this to each other. Brick's very intrigued by what's going on with Sonny. Meanwhile, Jason is on top of Sonny, hurrying him to get the surgery. Sonny thinks he has got time, but it's about to run out, and a cardiac crisis is probably coming. I would guess that it is going to happen during sweeps, and the thing is that starts pretty soon. We have got Christina completely off the deep end, and she may actually be the reason that Sonny's heart fails, and he has no more time to waste before he needs life-saving surgery. Christina tried to kill Ava by cutting her brakes, and instead, she nearly killed Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, and Elizabeth Weber, Rebecca Herbst. Rick's still fighting for his life. And of course, it's no secret that Sonny and Rick hate each other, so Sonny probably wouldn't be too heartbroken if Rick died in the crash. However, Sonny did say that he hopes that Rick is okay for Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos' sake. It shouldn't be too much longer before Christina is exposed as an attempted murderer. Lucky Spencer, Jonathan Jackson, knows she cut the brake lines. And I fully expect a police investigation into the accident, especially once Liz and Rick talk to cops and reveal that his brakes went out for no reason. Lucky may also feel like he has no choice but to tell the truth about it. Liz might even push him to do it, because she knows Christina is obsessively unhinged about Ava, and may think that a reality check and consequences are overdue. Remember, Christina was trying to get Elizabeth to basically say that Ava was trying to kidnap her own daughter. And Elizabeth is like, that's not what happened. Once it comes out that Christina did this horrible thing and could be facing hard time in prison, that's going to devastate Sonny. Worst case, Christina would be sent to Pentonville. Better options would be mental health timeout at Ferncliff or Shadybrook. But it's hard to imagine Sonny's daughter is going to get away with no consequences, especially once Molly knows her sister almost killed her dad because she's got no self-control and is never held accountable, and never stops to think before she does things. The stress on Sonny if Christina is facing arrest and prosecution just may be too much for his heart. It's already in bad shape. And this all feels like it's building towards Sonny having one big final collapse and a medical cardiac crisis, maybe even full-scale cardiac failure. We could see Christina causing a massive cardiac episode in her dad. At the same time that Sonny's facing a heart crisis, we just saw the opening of the new cardiac center dedicated to Monica Quartermain, top cardiac surgeon, former chief of staff. This might be very interesting timing given what's going on with him health-wise on General Hospital. This latest mess that Christina has triggered has Rick's life on the line, possibly Sonny's life on the line too. Christina ultimately could be the reason her dad and Molly's dad are both at death's door. Sonny has been planning to have his heart surgery, but he wants it on his own time frame. But it seems increasingly likely that things aren't going to work out that way. That's why Jason keeps pushing him. We all know it's not going to go well. Sonny may collapse from the stress. And then, there's no time to get him to the specialist in Lay for the planned procedure. They may have to rush Sonny right into that new cardiac wing and get the surgery he needs right away. What would really be a diabolical twist in this storyline is if Sonny's heart is so damaged that he needs a transplant. Imagine, if you will, that GH kills off Rick, so Sonny gets his brother's heart. Could you imagine how much Molly would hate Christina if that were the case? Plus, Sonny and Rick can't stand each other, so it would be a bitter pill if the only reason Sonny survives is because of Rick's heart beating in his chest. It would be a constant reminder of the brother Sonny despises and the fact that his daughter killed her own uncle. Because if Rick died, Christina could actually face premeditated murder charges because she knowingly went down and cut those brake lines with the intent to kill. Before all this is over, whether Rick lives or dies or Sonny winds up in emergency surgery, I do think Christina may suffer a complete breakdown. I will say I hope Rick survives. I love Rick Hurst. I'm a big fan of the character of Rick Lansing, so I hope it doesn't go that way, but with GH, never say never. Rick has been gone so long, they may feel like, okay, he's disposable. We are setting the stage for a permanent rift between the Davis girls. Molly may never forgive Christina, even if Rick does survive. And Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Gran, will be in a spot where she can't keep making excuses for Christina's awful antics, because if she does, Molly may walk away from her mom for good. I do expect once it comes out that Christina cut Rick's brake lines that Molly may make it her personal mission to make her sister pay for what she has done. Everything's coming to a head. It feels like a perfect storm. And the cardiac center, and just the cardiac issues with Sonny, lives are going to be forever changed. Keep watching for Sonny's coming cardiac crisis to see whether he winds up as the first patient in the Monica Quartermain Cardiac Care Center. It had been a turbulent year in Port Charles. Sonny Corinthos, the indomitable mob boss with a tortured past and a complicated heart, both figuratively and now, literally, was spiraling. Between the mounting tensions with Ava over custody of Avery, the growing distance between him and Michael, and the persistent ghost of his bipolar disorder lurking in the background, Sonny had been pushing himself too hard. What no one expected was that it would all catch up with him, not through a bullet or betrayal, but through his heart. The collapse. It happened one late afternoon at the Metro Court. Sonny was there for a tense meeting with Selena Wu, one that Carly had insisted he should delegate. But Sonny, stubborn as ever, brushed off the chest tightness he'd been feeling all morning. He chalked it up to stress, maybe a bad cup of coffee. He never made it to the table. In front of a packed dining room, Sonny gasped, clutching his chest, his knees buckling. He collapsed beside the hostess stand as Nina, Carly, and even Dex ran to his side. His skin was pale, his lips tinged with blue, and he struggled to breathe. Nina screamed. Carly shouted for an ambulance. When Sonny opened his eyes, he was on a stretcher, paramedics barking orders over him. A shocking diagnosis. At General Hospital, the doctors rushed to stabilize Sonny. Elizabeth was on shift and barely flinched when she realized who had just been wheeled in. Years of working in Port Charles had trained her for everything. But even she paled when she saw the EKG results. Monica Quartermain, though semi-retired, had just returned to oversee the opening of the long-anticipated Monica Quartermain Cardiac Center. It was set to open in just a few days. But when she heard Sonny Corinthos had been rushed in with suspected cardiac failure, she immediately stepped in. Monica read the chart grimly. His heart's failing. And fast, cardiomyopathy, long-standing high blood pressure, and an undiagnosed congenital defect that had gone unnoticed for decades. Likely because Sonny had never trusted doctors long enough to get a full workup. Monica's words carried a chilling weight. If we don't act fast, he might not make it through the night. Family tensions and decisions. The waiting room became a war zone of emotions. Carly paced, torn between rage and fear. He should have told someone. How long has he been ignoring symptoms? Nina sat silently, shock in her eyes. She had just started to believe they could mend their broken pieces, and now she might lose him before they even had a chance. Michael arrived torn. The man who had once called Sonny Dad now carried nothing but resentment toward him for what he'd done to Carly, to the family, to Dex. But still, this was Sonny. He was still Michael's father, no matter how complicated that truth was. Even Dante struggled. As a cop, he'd long been at odds with Sonny's choices. But as his son, seeing his father frail and hooked to machines triggered a flood of childhood memories. Sonny teaching him how to box, how to protect his mother, how to hold on to loyalty when the world falls apart. Monica stepped into the room with an announcement that stole everyone's breath. We need to move him to the new cardiac center. Now, he'll be the first patient. An unlikely first patient. The Monica Quartermain Cardiac Center was state-of-the-art, built with Quartermain funding, and the hope of saving lives in ways the old wings never could. It wasn't scheduled to open for another week, but there was no time. Within an hour, Sonny Corinthos became its first patient. There was something ironic about it. Monica, who had lost her son Jason to the mob world Sonny had built, now found herself leading the team trying to save the very man responsible for Jason's path. A man whose criminal empire had cast shadows over the Quartermains for decades. But medicine was her calling, not revenge. Sonny needed a high-risk surgical procedure. A team of specialists was flown in overnight. Monica herself assisted. As they wheeled Sonny into the OR, the usually unshakable man whispered to her, "Tell my kids, I'm sorry. For everything." Visions on the edge. On the table, Sonny hovered between life and death. Under sedation, his mind drifted into dreams, or maybe visions. He saw his mother, Adela, smiling softly, reaching for his hand. Then Jason. "Not your time, Sonny," Jason said, voice calm. "But you gotta make things right." He saw Morgan, his son, standing beside Lily, both ghosts of a past filled with loss. "You can't fix everything," Morgan said. "But you can try. Start with yourself." When Sonny awoke, it was to dim lights, the quiet beeping of machines, and Monica's tired but triumphant face. "You made it," she said simply. The aftermath. Recovery was long. Sonny, never one to sit still, was forced to confront his physical fragility. He needed help. He hated it. But the message had been made painfully clear. He wasn't invincible. He had nearly died. And with that mortality came clarity. He apologized to Carly, not just for the pain he caused, but for never appreciating the strength she had shown through it all. He asked Nina for space, not because he didn't care, but because he finally realized he needed to figure out who he was outside the chaos of relationships and power. He reached out to Michael. "I don't expect forgiveness," Sonny said. "But I want to be a better man, a better father. I'm still here. And I want to make it count." And he went to Jason's memorial alone. Not as a mob boss, just a man, a friend, a brother. Monica's moment. As Sonny's recovery became the talk of the hospital, the media caught wind of his role as the first patient of the cardiac center. Monica gave a short statement to the press. This facility was built to save lives, no matter their history, status, or sins. Mr. Corinthos survived because we were prepared, and will be prepared for anyone who walks through those doors. Her quiet strength and her ability to separate personal pain from professional duty earned her new respect in Port Charles. Privately, Monica sat in her office that night, a photo of Jason on her desk. She spoke softly into the silence. "I did it, Jason. Maybe this was part of the reason why." A changed man, Sonny walked out of General Hospital 3 weeks later, a little thinner, a little slower, but alive. Changed. Perhaps. Humbled. Certainly. He returned to Greystone Manor, where the coffee was cold and the house felt too quiet. but there was a fresh sense of purpose in his eyes. For once, Sonny Corinthos wasn't thinking about enemies or territory. He was thinking about legacy, and for the first time in a long time, his heart, damaged but still beating, was leading the way. Let me know if you'd like a sequel to this, or a version that folds in Jason returning dramatically during Sonny's recovery. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our GH News 24 YouTube channel for more update news.